and trade wars. It is all connected. Absolutely, this is an orchestrated plan, my friends, to destroy it all. Destroy the old, implement the new. Remember months ago, everybody's up in arms. Oh my God, China's going to ban cryptos. Remember that? Everybody remember that? That was a huge reason why Bitcoin crashed and all the cryptos crashed. China going to ban Bitcoin. Well, we have a 360. Surprise, surprise, surprise. China's President Xi says blockchain part of new technological revolution. President of China Xi Jinping openly praised blockchain technology during a speech May 28th as the technology continues to cement itself in the country's future plans. Speaking at the Chinese Academy of Sciences 19th annual conference in Beijing, Xi, is it Xi or Xi? I think Xi, included blockchain as an example of the new generation of technologies delivering breakthroughs. Since the 21st, this is a quote from the president of China. Since the 21st century began, global scientific and technological innovation has entered an unprecedented period of intensive activity. A new round of scientific and technological revolutions and industry changes is reconstructing the global innovation map and reshaping the global economic structure, he said. Continuing, the new generation of information technology represented by artificial intelligence, quantum information, mobile communication, Internet of Things, and blockchain is accelerating breakthroughs through its range of applications. Doesn't sound like China's going to ban the cryptos at any time soon. It goes on. The high-profile plugging of blockchain continues, a recent trend by Chinese authorities to come to grips with the technology's capabilities. Quote, we have established verifiable blockchain programs in China, and nearly 200 private enterprises have expressed interest to join this. Or this will help blockchain technology and industry to become more transparent and open. Local media quoted a government spokesman saying on the topic of domestic efforts. As Cointelegraph reported this month, official government ratings for blockchain projects are currently in progress following the release of 26 cryptocurrencies. I don't agree with that list. It's ridiculous. At the same time, Beijing appeared skeptical about foreign blockchain projects more generally. So basically, they're going to, those that they can see and control and aren't criminality at its finest, they will embrace. Yeah, cryptos aren't dead. Blockchain's not dead. Every single country has to embrace this, or they will be dead. China knows it. The president of China came out, said, we're embracing the blockchain. Now, which cryptos will be allowed to flourish in China and which will not, it's up for debate. But definitely, the floodgates are open. Jump on the tide. Be carried with it. Don't worry about the FUD of China banning cryptos. It's not going to happen. Like I said months ago, it's not going to happen. They're just trying to slow it down, which they did, and it'll run up again. Now, moving on. What is the other part of this plan? It is Trump and China putting up this front that they're fighting. They're fighting the deep state is what they're fighting. But they need to crash the system. And in order to crash the system, you need economic weakness. So Trump comes out with these gigantic tariffs against China. Everybody knows that tariffs caused the Great Depression. The Smoot-Hawley Act caused the Great Depression. Here's a Fortune magazine article. Donald Trump stunned the world. This is from March 4th, when he first announced the Chinese tariff. Stunned the world last Thursday with his reportedly impulsive announcements of steep U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum. Stock markets responded by dropping sharply around the world. And that was before Trump doubled down by threatening to impose tariffs on European cars. Both stock markets and economists tend to loathe tariffs, which hamper the basic efficiency of the market, rarely accomplishing more than saving a few jobs in exchange for higher prices across the entire economy. One illustration of this that's not widely known, as it should be, is the role of tariffs, specifically a set of rules known as the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, in triggering the Great Depression. Obviously, the causes of the Depression are still hotly debated, and popular understanding centers on the 1929 stock market crash, while the somewhat more informed will cite excessive easy credit and misguided tight monetary policies of the Federal Reserve. Smoot-Hawley wasn't signed into law until June 17th, 1930, when stocks had already plunged from 1929 peaks. So it's often seen as a secondary factor. The reality is, you start a trade war, it's not good for anybody. And Trump knows it more than anybody. China knows it more than anybody. They want to destroy the system. It's all part of the plan. And they will all move on to the blockchain. Cryptocurrencies, the good ones. That's why the regulators are all over the criminality. I've been reading left and right. The Department of Justice is investigating the manipulation of the price of Ethereum. Who manipulated the price of Ethereum? Block One, Brock Pierce and his crowd. It was obvious then, it's obvious now. What will that do? I don't know. I don't know what that will do to EOS, but it's not good. EOS, somebody sent me an email saying, buying EOS, even though you know who's behind it, the criminals that are behind it, the worst scum of the earth, buying EOS is like going to a fancy restaurant owned by Jeffrey Dahmer. Think about that. A fancy restaurant owned by the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, who used to eat the people he killed. It's like going to a restaurant with Jeffrey Dahmer. Even if it's 5-star rated restaurant, you will never know what's in that food. And that's EOS. We will never know what's in that program. We will never know who these 21 supernodes are and how they are going to affect anything. It's not an immutable blockchain. They can change things. If enough people agree, they can change the blockchain in EOS. And if you have, say, Brock Pierce and his friends owning 50% plus, 70% I think they need, which is very probable and likely in my opinion, then you got a problem. A gigantic problem. So yeah. And that's why the Department of Justice is in there. Clearly it's a security, and they did everything they could to avoid the security laws. Security people don't like that. Regulators and governments don't like that. Any government doesn't like that. They want you to work within the laws of the country, not figure out how to tell a lawyer to structure an ICO such that we don't get in trouble and we can walk away scot-free. It's not going to happen. That's not how the world works, my friends. So all the planning and all the construction of this ICO to keep Block One out of the spotlight so they can run away with their billions is not going to work. They're going down. Absolutely. Anyway, so yeah, Trump is just kicked up again the China fight. China knows what's going on, so what does China do? China hit back at U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to push ahead with tariffs on a $50 billion of Chinese imports despite a recent truce in the trade fight, saying it damages America's standing. If the United States insists on unilateral measures, China will respond accordingly, Foreign Ministry spokesman Hua Chiang told reporters in Beijing on Wednesday. The White House said in a statement on Tuesday that a final list of imported goods to be targeted will be released by June 15th and levies imposed shortly thereafter. Come on, people, wake up. It's all being done on purpose. They are going to destroy the system. That is the plan. It has always been the plan. China knows about it. China will fight back. That's what happens with tariff. You charge your tariffs on this, we're going to charge tariffs on that. You get mad about this, we get mad about that. Again, back, forth, all of a sudden shuts off. What happens if China shuts off trade with the United States? China's got 1.3 billion people to feed and clothe and to sell products to. That's the key. China has plenty of customers. And with the blockchain and cryptos, they can create their own crypto. They can give it to their citizens and say, we don't need the United States. All the United States come to the table with is those blank pieces of paper, the unbanked fiat money to buy our goods. Where do they get that money? They run up debts beyond belief. The United States is the largest debtor country in the world. So who wins when all this falls apart? The United States. No more debt. It's insane. It's so easy to see. When your eyes are open and you're watching this stuff, it's easy to see. Let's go on. Every flip-flop in international relations simply depletes a country's credibility, Hua said. Earlier, the Wall Street Journal reported that the trade talks between the two countries scheduled for June 2nd in Beijing may be derailed by the fresh threat from Washington. The announcement by Trump, which seemed to tear up an agreement reached only 10 days ago in Washington, is the latest twist in a trade dispute between the U.S. and China that has rattled the financial markets for months and could threaten the broadest global upswing in years, according to the IMF. A team of U.S. officials was scheduled to arrive in Beijing on Wednesday to discuss the broad outline of the next round of talks. But if the two sides failed to reach agreement on what could be discussed, the trip, led by Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, could be canceled, the Wall Street Journal said. Asian equities slid Wednesday as this is all done on purpose, a plan. Both sides want the system to crash. The bad guys want the system to crash so they can run away and then come back and take power of everything. The good guys want the system to crash to get rid of the bad guys. Everybody and their mother wants the old system to crash. But where do you go? They're going to the cryptos, my friends. Just listen to President Xi Jinping. Listen to what he says. Blockchain is the future. It's a technological revolution. Everybody who said China's going to ban everything is full of crapola. Got it? Are we on the same page? The Road to Ruta page. The page that says we're going to get rid of the old system and get into a new system. I know it's hard to hang on to the cryptos, but it's only been 6 months, right? It's only been, 5 months since the crypto's been going down. The last time, I remember sitting for 2.5 years. Did I sell it? No. Was it a good idea not to sell it? Absolutely. These are times when you load up. Your dollar cost average. If you're mad that the price is less than what you bought it for, go and get some more. A dollar cost average in. Maybe think about selling some silver and gold. Because they're clearly not moving until the whole system falls apart. The COMEX is, as long as the COMEX and the LBMA are open, the prices of gold and silver will not go anywhere. They won't be allowed to go anywhere. So why not be in the cryptos while you're waiting? Good time to sell some gold, obviously a lot of gold, but even some silver and buy some cryptos, in my opinion. Because we're coming into the summer of hell for the old system. And it is being forced, it is being manipulated to do just that. And Steve Mnuchin, he can click a mouse. Just click a mouse, poof, the system's gone. That's how powerful computers are. Root A is a programming term in Fortran used by Alan Greenspan to create the very first computer programs, the very first electronic monetary system back in the 60s and 70s. Helped by his mentor, Arthur Burns, the head of the Federal Reserve System. It is so obvious, my friends, it is obvious that this is happening. So buckle up, hold your cryptos, hold your silver, think about selling a little silver, buy more cryptos, if you don't have any especially, because you're going to need some cryptos. Start with Litecoin. Litecoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, I would say, are the three to start with. I'd stay away from Bitcoin because it's not going to get the kind of appreciation that Bitcoin Cash is going to get. Ethereum, I think, will do extremely well when EOS is proven to be a fraud. Extremely well. So just hang on tight. And the Department of Justice is in there figuring out who was rigging the price of Ethereum down. And I think they're going to come out with Block 1 and the guys, the criminals there. So that's your update for right now. Xi Jinping is saying, yes, thumbs up to cryptos. Keep an eye on the Deutsche Bank downgrade. I feel it in my bones in the next couple days. This week, the Deutsche Bank downgrade. With all this bad stuff happening, that downgrade of the largest derivative holder in the world is sure to cause chaos this summer. It's Big Weir. I'll talk to you later.